right, well, I suppose this is part two of the monster Lian V3000 insane, overpriced, overbuilt PC build. All right, well, today I want to get a lot of the water cooling tackled. That way I can start getting everything measured and set up for tubing routes and all that other stuff. But first, we have to actually get the core components taken apart and inspected and, well, just assembled for the build in general. I already have the system built in an air cooling configuration. That was mostly just to get all the software and drivers and basically everything set up. I've actually been playing a couple of games on this exact system. Also trying out the Asus ProArt case. I'm gonna put into retirement soon after this, and who knows what's gonna happen with this case. I kind of dig this case. It's really overpriced for what it is, but, you know, it's kind of just how it is with these kinds of things. So I'm going to disassemble, get all this, you know, this whole mess dealt with. And I think I want to start off with delidding the CPU. I don't know. I'm kind of going to cross that bridge when I get there. All right, well, here's the motherboard out, and, whoa, why did it do that? I don't know. So basically, this is the gut-wrenching part, which I'm going to take care of first and foremost. I got to delid the CPU. Problem being, I don't have a delid tool. I'm kind of tempted to wait until I get a delid tool. I don't know why I didn't think to get a delid tool, but I didn't. So I'm going to attempt to do this the old-fashioned way, and you guys are going to fucking love it. Okay, so this is what I got cooked up. This is how we used to do it in the days of yore. So you may have noticed this bench vise. You may have noticed the CPU. You may have noticed this piece of aluminum 90 degree that's acting as sort of a pseudo soft jaw. And you may notice this piece of 1/8 aluminum flat bar. So here's what I have cooked up. So I'm gonna push. So the CPU triangle is right there. I'm going to take this piece of flat bar and I'm going to push against the IHS kind of like thusly. Now, the actual PCB of the CPU is going to rest right up against the top, a very tippy top of this piece of angle. And that's to clear the IHS that's invariably going to push away this way. Now, this is, it's been a long time since I've done this. Now, this is going to go one of two ways. Option A, this goes very well, and I ended up saving myself $80. Option 2, this fails catastrophically, and I waste $500. Either which way, I see it as a win. So, you know, if it fails, then you get to experience a chuckle and a chortle at my expense. And man, my hands are shaky because I am nervous as fuck right now. So I'm going to push against the IHS this way. That avoids a couple of the surface mount components on the triangle side of the IHS. And to answer your question, yes, this is how we used to delid CPUs. Some people used to use a razor blade and they dig underneath the IHS And that's how we used to do it. Ooh. Come on, baby. I'm being very cooperative at the moment.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Shit. Oh, fuck. Okay. Are we okay? Yeah, the PCB on this end is looking kind of wanged. I'm not gonna lie. Well, boys, I'm not proud of this, but this thing's a goner. The whole entire CPU die just completely fractured into a million pieces, and it tore off with the IHS. That's it. Well, there went 500 bucks. Words cannot describe how disappointed with myself I am. But, well, you know, sometimes you just gotta learn the hard way. This lithography that you see in the actual die itself, yeah, that's the laser lithography from the manufacturing process. Yeah, this thing's dead. Even Jesus can't save this poor old thing. I think the only course of action that I have right now is to just, like, get a new one and learn from my mistake, not do that ever again. And I guess I'll move on to the GPU, which I can't possibly fuck that up. At least not nearly as bad as I fucked this up. God, I actually feel sick. Well, yeah, not much else to say. I fucked up. And I fucked up bad. Well, I've had some time to reflect over the $500 I just costed myself, and well, at least I can still manage to kind of not fuck up disassembling a graphics card. God, I'm still like ass pained about that. That actually just like ruined my entire day, but you know, what are you gonna do? I gotta move on and do something, I guess. So I get the CPU or the GPU block installed. All right, class, welcome to, oh, what are we at? Day 2, 3? I don't know. When I last left you off, I got the GPU block installed. Yeah, it's got a little bit of crap on there. We won't worry about that right now. At least I didn't fuck that up, so that went on pretty good. I don't like the fact that the GPU mounting bracket is not actually physically attached to the card itself, but oh well, I don't think it'll make that much of a difference. Fuck off, fly. So that's pretty cool. Again, the CPU block is not going to happen for obvious reasons, but I do want to get my motherboard fitted in. I would also like to get my power supply fitted in, so that way I can start measuring for custom cables and what such, and then we'll get that all situated inside the case. I'm also going to try to fit all of my radiators in the case, and we'll see where we go from there. Here we're getting up close and personal with the power supply I got. Again, 1300 watt unit. Fairly attractive. Of course, you know, looks aren't everything, but it is the entire enclosure is this brushed aluminum, which I think it is actually real brushed aluminum. Yeah, this thing is just beastly, and it's a shame that like you're never ever gonna see it in this build, but yeah, I definitely am a fan of this thing so far. Like the short length of time that I've been using it, I've only been using it for like a few weeks, but yeah, I'm gonna get that thrown into the case, and just a quick little gander at the cables. So this is what you get. They do give you cable combs, what for tidying these up, so you know it doesn't look like a fucking black spaghetti mess. And this is your 12 volt high power connector. It's just like a standard, almost looks like a 24 pin the way that it's laid out, but you know, that's what you get with the kit. And again, I am going to go with the fully custom sleeved, custom length kit, which is why I got to install all this crap into there, because I got to get precise cable lengths and everything else. I don't know if I gave you a good look at the motherboard or not, but here it is. Oh, there's a greasy looking, hang on. Let's take care of that right quick, fast, in a hurry. It's going to get smudged again anyhow, but yeah, this thing ain't too bad. Man, I love the look of this thing. There's no RGB fucking faggot unicorn puke nonsense going on with this thing. Just very attractive looks going on. Had to reinstall the CPU socket protector for reinstallation of the motherboard. But yeah, plus with the Dominator titaniums, yeah, this thing fucks hard. So I'm gonna get that and that. I should probably throw that in there as well to get that all mocked up. And yeah, as I'm beginning to install the power supply into this case, it occurs to me another thing that I forgot. This back cover plate right here is another feature of it. You can switch this around into any orientation you want. As it comes stock, it would face down like this, and you have like a grommet pass through for other cables. I think you can actually get another back plate for this entire section here, where you can actually have a second power supply for system number two. Because again, this is configured for dual system use. So like you can put a mini ITX system down in here with the power supply flip like this, and you can have your IO for that second system come through there. You can also, it comes with this bracket, so you can mount another mini ITX system right here and have your IO for that system coming out right there. This thing is just so fucking cool. It's got a lot of capabilities. I think I've said that like 4 or 5 times, but yeah, I definitely am a big proponent of how modular and how massive this case really is. And you can also see the 4 screws for the distribution plate. In order to install this back distribution plate, you do have to remove the entire motherboard tray, which is kind of a job, but you know, at least you have that option. I would rather have that option than not have that option. Yeah, you know, it's kind of a necessity in this event, because these screws are kind of recessed into this part of the case right here, and so it's virtually impossible to take those screws in and out without you know, first removing the tray. Anywho, yeah, pretty cool shit. All right, kids, we got our pretty much all squared away. Got the rads installed. I threw the GPU in here as well. Got pretty much everything mocked up for getting all the wires and the custom cables and everything installed. The top rad is a 60 mil thick deal, and I'm probably gonna have to shift it over that way just a little bit, because on this side of the rad I've got an 8-way PWM splitter. Of course, I'm running push-pull in the top, and so that's 8 fans to contend with. But the way I like to run my fan splitters is I like to put them, the actual fan splitter on the radiator somewhere where it's not easily visible. But the thing is with this top radiator, they have these 3 screws there, and there, where you can actually slide this tray out. And if you were just like running a slimmer rad and just having fans pushing air that way, but this is a thick boy, and so I'm going to need push-pull, and you can't really do that because the fans are screwed in from the top. These are what's holding that behemoth in place, and so I'm going to need a way to plug the top fans easily into the splitter. So all the wires are going to have to go down and through and into there. I don't have, I barely have a finger's worth of space in there, so that's gonna have to get shoved that way just a little bit. That's no big deal. Bottom rad is installed, just running push on those boys. Front rad also installed, and that's all good and cool. So if we go to the back where I have the power supply installed, you can see how all the ports and everything line up. I honestly cannot believe that I got all these ports to line up with that one. Like, it's barely off by a cunt hair, but it's nothing that, you know, a rotary fitting or two can't solve. And so, like, what I'm thinking with this whole arrangement is the coolant's gonna come down through here, and I'm gonna have an elbow going this way, and then a T-fitting with a shut off, and then a quick disconnect on that. That's gonna act as the drain, and then that's gonna go through this rad. It's gonna cycle up, down, come out of this port, 90, into this port, and then gonna come out of here, make a couple of 90s there, and then it's gonna go up into this port, and then it's gonna cycle through the rest of the system there. I'm thinking I'm gonna mount my Aquero somewhere here. And you know what? I'm gonna give RGB a shot. I'm gonna give it a chance. So I'll probably put the controller for that here, or maybe somewhere back in here or something like that. I'm gonna have a lot of like RGB channels. I haven't counted like the number of channels, but it's gonna be like at least 6 or 7, or possibly even more than that. Actually, I think the CPU water block also has its own RGB channel, so all of those also have to be sleeved, and I'm gonna have to build a bunch of extensions to go onto that. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Gonna have to do a lot of sleeving, except for the front panel cables. I'm not gonna bother sleeving those, and nobody's ever gonna see them anyway. But yeah, these ketchup and mustard cables, those need dealt with. And in the case of the top fans, I'm gonna rip these labels off and then put some vinyl stickers on them. I got the GPU half-assedly installed, and you know, it's kind of supported. Don't worry about it. CPU block is not installed for obvious reasons. I have everything pretty much lined up as good as it's going to get. I mocked up the CPU block so that it corresponds with these two ports. I might need to put some dual rotaries to go down in there, and of course there's going to be a little bit of fuckery going on with this radiator port right here. It's not perfectly lined up between this port where the blue plug is and that port where that blue plug is, but you know, that's fine. I just put a rotary right up here where it's not easily visible, down 90 going into there. If you're wondering what this piece of tape is for, it's just so like I don't get a bunch of debris and bullshit as it's sitting in there in this dusty ass garage. And yeah, I half-assedly put the pump tops in there. Both of those have their own RGB channel, which again, I didn't expect. So I probably have like 8 to 10 individual RGB channels, and that's gonna be pretty challenging to wire up neatly, but ain't nothing I've never done before. So yeah, this is what she looks like with most of the panels off. I took the side window off just for sake of ease of working and demonstration. And here's what she looks like, all the panels installed. A little bit grimy, just been getting handled on a little bit. And that's gonna get dusty as fuck, but that's okay. Look at that. Just look at it. Oh yeah. Look at all the fucking reflections from all the bullshit in the garage. But yeah, I'm pretty fucking stoked about this. Anyway, yep, that's what she's approximately going to look like when all of this is done. I'm pretty curious to know what this cocksucker's gonna weigh by the time it's all full of coolant and all the tubing and everything. Be very interested. There is a fucking locust just going at it over there. What a fucking trooper. And as for power supply cables, I did a quick like fit up with these ones, and honestly, the ones that came with the power supply are basically the perfect size, including the fucking 12 volt high power. So as far as like the motherboard, what that is, the 24 pin, the motherboard 24 pin, both 8-pin CPUs, and the 12 volt high power, or the ATX 3.0, whatever the fuck we're calling it today. Yeah, I'm just gonna measure these end to end, and then, you know, I'm gonna be done with it. I'm gonna probably build my own SATA and Molex cables. I'm gonna have Cable Mod do up these 4 cables. That way I can have some nice cable combs, because I'm not really a fan of like how they daisy chain the SATA and Molex. I just need one SATA. I just need one SATA. I need one Molex. In the case of the fucking the dual pumps I got going on there, I'll need 2 that are sort of split off at a Y rather than being daisy chained. So I'll just build those myself. Those are pretty easy to do. And for the poor old 14900K, press F to pay respects, friends. Yeah, that's one half of the die, and that's the other half of the die. Fucking A. Well, I know there's going to be somebody making fun of me in the comments, and, you know, that's fine. I got some pretty thick skin. I can handle it. I know what I did was pretty fucking stupid. I took some, you know, a little bit of a drinky poo or 2 or 5, and, you know, just to calm the nerves a little bit. And that caused me to make some bad decisions. I can blame it on the alcohol, but, like, you know, under ordinary circumstances, I wouldn't have, like, done something so fucking outrageously stupid. Look at this fucking cocksucker. He's just going at it. Look at him. Joink. Yeah, so, anyway, I'm gonna pack up. I'm gonna fucking, get this video edited. I mean, you know, like, yeah, I ruined a $500 some odd CPU, but, like, you know, I'll just get another one and get the proper delitting tool. And yeah, I could, you know, to cut my losses and sell that off and, you know, get a regular non-direct dye water block. But I kind of want to do this just for the challenge of it, if I'm being honest. So, you know, that's just, that's the route that I'm choosing to go. And, you know, I'm paying through the ass for it with my own stupidity and my own money. Is there anything else I wanted to say? I don't know. You know, just wait for the next video. Next video is going to be, let's see, it's going to be cable modding. It's going to be fitting the fittings to the different components. I'm going to show you a little bit of a surprise what I'm doing with that. You know, getting some tubing done up. And I got to get the CPU delidded and put into place. It's going to be probably about, I don't know, few weeks to a month before that happens. Anyway, thanks for watching. Keep your dick wet and your shit pipe tight.